Hey everybody, this is another tutorial. This is going to be the first of a set of series of HTML tutorials, just kind of introductory, how to make your web page and learn the basics of HTML. We'll be using HTML5 for this little course. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing I want to do is I'm just using my Notepad++ text editor here, and I made a folder on my desktop that I called tutorials. So I'm going to go ahead and go to save as right away, and I'm inside my tutorials folder right here, and I can go down here to hypertext markup language, and I'm going to call this one here HTML template 1. You can call it whatever you want to, .html. So that's what I'm going to use for this. I'm just using all one word, all lowercase, that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to click save. Alright, so then when we look up here, you can see it names it up on your tab right here, and that works good. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started here. So first thing we're going to do up here on line 1 is we're going to type in here doctype HTML, and we're closing it with these greater than, less than signs. And basically this is just a required part of your web page. It has to be there. It has to be up there at the top, so that way our browser knows what version of HTML that our page is being written in. Alright, so then after that we're going to add another tag here, and inside of this tag we're going to type this as HTML. Alright, and then I'm going to hit enter ways just to give me a little room to work with here, and I'm going to close this tag. So we open the tag with just our element that we're typing in there, and then we close it with the slash followed by the element. Alright, and this is going to include everything that is involved with our code for our website. So all of our code is going to be listed in between these brackets. Okay. After that, we're going to make another tag, and this one is going to be called head, and we'll go ahead and close it down here too. And basically this isn't really going to show up on our web page. It will show up on the browser window and is used by search engines for web pages. So we're going to put a couple things in this while we're here. So I'm going to put a tag here. This one's going to be a title, and I'm going to call this my first HTML web page, and then I'm going to close the title right after that. So as you can see here, it doesn't really matter where we close these things at, just as long as it's listed after, you know, whatever it is that you're categorizing with that tag. I could have closed the title right here too, but I just am keeping this as one line since it's short. Just kind of use your preference of however you want your code for your web page to be visually organized. So we got that there, and then that'll show up in the browser window. Then underneath that we're going to add another tag, and this one we're going to call meta, and it's going to be our character set. Okay, and meta character set, and then we're going to go with an equals quotation marks UTF-8. Then we'll close it up. This is so your browser knows what characters and letters and numbers and punctuation marks and all that kind of stuff that need to be recognized by the web page. We'll talk more about that kind of stuff later, but for most of our things in here we'll be using UTF-8. So that, oh, and I almost forgot, almost made a mistake, and then we have a slash right here. Alright, so this is a slightly different type of a tag that we'll be using for this. Okay, so this is what we have at the top of our web page in our code, and now we want to put some things that we're actually going to see in the browser itself. So the section for this is going to be called the body. And down here, I'm going to close it up. And we're just going to put a couple things in this one just for our first template, just to give you something to play around with. So we have H1, which is our first one here, and this is for the header. And this is like if you're putting in a title for a section for part of your web page. So I'm going to put this here as this is a title for a section in my web page. That's kind of long, but that's all right. All right, and then we close it up. Pretty simple, right? Then underneath that, we can then put another tag. We'll put in the letter P for paragraph, and this is just where the text that's going to accompany this header. So I have this right here, and here is some text that is being used for my very first web page made with HTML. Thanks for reading. Alright, and then I will go ahead and close that up right there. Okay, so we got that on there. We have the head section, we have the body part on here. That's all we're going to add for this. I'm going to backspace these up a little bit just to give myself make it look a little neater right there. And here we have our first site. So now what I'm ready to do is to click the save button, and I will go up to run, launch in Chrome, and to check this out. And as you can see, whoops, jeez Louise, man, on this window here, my first HTML web page that you see right up here in the tab of the browser shows up here where our title is. This is a title for a section in my web page. It's larger text, as you can see, and so that's our H1, and then our paragraph. Here's some text that's being used for my very first web page made with HTML. Thanks for reading. So we have that as our very first template for your first web page made with HTML. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and hope you keep following along for more things as we add on to this one.